Hi Year 7s, so right now I'm just making a little video from some fake data from our formative experiment. This is going to help you use Excel to make a data table and to make a graph later on. So just use this as a video to help you when you're doing your SAT or your assessment task this term. So I've already got some data in here. So I've got the 5 trials for each of my angles. Now I've just made up these angles. So I'm going to call this column my ramp angles. I'm going to call this one my trials. This one is going to be my speed at which the ball dropped. And this one over here is going to be my mean speed. And this one is going to be my range. Now, you can see I've already cut off part of this, so I can double tap the column over here up top in between the letters, and that expands it to the entire length of the writing that I've got there. Now, the other thing I'm going to want to do is I want to merge these cells. So I don't want to have 5 different cells here. I just want 50 degrees for all of these. So I highlight my 5 cells and I press that merge and center. I'm doing that for all of my angles, so it's turning those 5 cells into one cell, as you can see here. Okay, now I'm also going to need to do that for my mean speed. So again, I highlight my 5 and I press merge and center. So every time I'm pressing merge and center, I have to do it for every time I want to create one cell. I can't just highlight them all. If I highlighted them all, as we can see here with the range, if I highlighted them all and press merge and center, it would merge them all together. So I have to do it in the 5 I want to be one cell. I'm also going to do that for the range. So you can see this a few times. Watch how I'm doing this. It's possible when you are doing this on your computer, you won't actually have the word merge and center. You might just have that little icon, as you can see up here, which has some arrows between the cells. Okay. Now I have now merged all of my cells together. It's looking good in terms of data, but I want to make sure that this is looking really good for a graph. So I'm going to center everything on the graph. I'm also going to add all borders. Okay, so you can see the little button up here, and I added all borders. And now my graph is starting to look a little better. These are all my headings, so I'm going to put these in bold as well. Okay, and just to make that graph look a little bit better. Usually now you would also want to use units. Noticing I haven't used units, so we were measuring that in seconds. And ramp angles, I'm not going to do the degrees here, but I'll be doing degrees. Now remember, for your experiment, you're actually going to be doing yours in mass, so your degrees will actually be mass instead of ramp angle. Now to work out our mean speed, we can use Excel to do this. So in the section where I want to work out the average or the mean, I click in that cell and I write the word equals and average. I then put an open bracket and I select the data I want to find the average for. End bracket, press enter, and that works out the mean time for those 5. Now I could do that for every one of my cells down here to work out the mean average for every ramp, or I could just wait, move over until I get the black cross in the bottom right corner and drag it all the way down, and it does my mean range for, or my mean speed for all of those. And as you can see, obviously as my ramp angle's gone up, my time is getting faster. Now for range, remembering your range is the range in this data, so you're finding your highest data point and you're taking away your lowest data point. So for this one, again, I write equals, I find my highest data point, which in this case is 2.31, take, and I take my lowest, which is going to be 2.03 over here. I press enter. Okay, and I'm doing that for all of these. So 1.3, oh sorry, that's the wrong one, 1.47, oh, even wrong again, look at this, I'm not picking that one. 1.53, take away the lowest of 1.22. Okay, and this is going to help us tell us the precision of these, so we can see the precision across all of the trials. So right now, just by doing those 3, already I can see that 50 degree angle was more precise because it's got a smaller range than the 70-degree angle at 0.47. And we keep doing this for all of those, just to make sure we've got all the ranges done. That's now the most precise. 80-degree angle was definitely the most precise there. And from memory, when I did this in class, it was this 90 degrees that was the least precise for memory. No, that's not. Yeah, it's not the most precise, but yeah. Okay. So that's all done. I have my graph all done, making sure it looks nice. All the columns are the right width, and looking really good. It's now to the point where I need to graph this. Now, noticing when I did my units, and again, sorry, just noticing again, I should have my units in my average column as well. Noticing that I'm writing the units at the top in the title, but I'm not writing the seconds down here in the graph, in the actual where the data is. Simply being, if I was to write here, over here, let's say 50 degrees, when I try and graph this now, so if I select all of these to graph them, and remember we're always doing a scatter plot for this type of data, okay, it doesn't really like it. So for my ramp angles, which is my x, or my independent variable, it's gone 0, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. It doesn't like it, which hasn't been useful. So I'll get rid of that one, and I'll go back to just having the word 50, or number 50, and trying that again to graph them. So remember, you highlight your independent variable first, the whole column including the title. If it's not next to each other, like yours won't be, I press Command on my keyboard, and then select the second column. I'm then going to insert, you've got all these different graphs. For this prac, we're doing a scatter plot, and now you can see I've got a graph that actually has my right angles down there. Then it's the point where we need to click on that graph, and we need to add a few more things. So I'm in the chart design section of Excel, and I want to add chart elements. So for this one, and I'm just going to move my face down a little bit there, I want to add my axes titles, both primary horizontal and primary vertical. Okay, I want to add, well, I've already got a chart title, which is good, but I want to add a trend line. For this one, I'm going to say linear. It's not really linear, so I can double click on that, and if I move that graph over here so I can see it a bit, we can now try and find a good line of best fit. So logarithmic, it's a little bit better. Polynomials, good. We can have a look. Is it 2? 3 is not great. 4 fits the data really well, but obviously we don't want the graph looking like that. So I would say 2 is probably the best polynomial at 2 for this data that I actually have here. I have my line of best fit. I would have my axes titles with my units. So down here, ramp angle in degrees. And over here I have my speed of ball in seconds. And that's my graph done. Okay, my graph and my table all done. Hopefully this video will help you do that. This is an easy 5 marks if you can do this on Excel. A little bit of helpful video. Hopefully it helps with you. Feel free to email me if you do need a bit of hand doing this, but you do need to do this for assessment. What you could then do with this, because you do have to print them off. Now I'll just get Microsoft Word open, and I can't actually see it because of the video software. There we go. Get Microsoft Word open. I'm going to get a blank document, and I'm going to copy my table over here onto Word. You might need to play with the formatting of it a little bit to get it all on there, like I say, and then I put a space, and I'm also going to put my graph. Noticing I'm not taking screenshots, I'm just copying and pasting everything. I could then print that page off, making sure my name's on it, and that will be one that you're going to submit and use for your part B of your experiment. So this will be homework, having to record to make a table and a graph, put them on a Word document, print them, and bring them to the next lesson.